So the other subregistry I would like to present is the esCapeKD. That's something for the pediatricians in the audience, because it's a prospective cohort study of children with chronic kidney disease. So in the last 2 or 3 decades, we have been able to put together a few pediatric CKD cohorts, prospective cohort studies. esCape was actually a randomized clinical trial, but then we set up the 4C study in Europe with the esCape network, where we enrolled patients between 2010 and 2012. We found 700 patients and we followed them for up to 9 years. But this study has now finished. And in the US, in parallel, there's the CKID consortium that put together 2 cohorts, 2005 to 9 and 11 to 15. And they've covered approximately 900 patients in these 2 cohorts. As you can see, the patients underwent biobanking every 6 months or 12 months, and they covered a range. In Europe, we had 6 to 17, and in the US, 1 to 16 years, and also quite a wide range of GFR. So these studies are now not recruiting any more patients, and they are outdating rather quickly. So we thought it would be worthwhile to set up a new pediatric CKD cohort. And ERKReg really is a unique data source with more than 3,000 children with CKD being followed. And here we collect data every 12 months, but of course, by now we are not collecting any central labs or do any biobanking. And that is, of course, a major drawback. And also, we only are collecting a very slim set of data in ERKReg. That's why we thought that we could join forces with the esCape network, the pediatric CKD network in Europe, to provide more up-to-date real-world information about the natural history of pediatric CKD and its sequelae in children that are receiving the current standard of care therapy. Also, we would like to facilitate the identification and the access of suitable patients to clinical trials with new therapies like the SGLT2 inhibitors. A trial on that is coming up now, finally, in children. And also, we would like to perform biobanking to promote research into novel risk markers of CKD progression in children. So these are the main objectives of this study that will enroll patients aged 3 months to 17 years with a GFR of 15 to 75, and also some children with a slightly higher GFR, but a very high proteinuria with a UPCR of more than 0.5 grams per gram that are already enrolled or being enrolled in the ERKReg registry. So as you can see here, we have more than 3,000, almost 4,000 patients currently in the registry that are in CKD stage 2B, 3, and 4. And so there's enough patients actually to collect, and the target would be to enroll a European cohort of 1,000 pediatric CKD patients and follow them for at least 5 years. So here we are collecting DNA, plasma, serum, and urine once a year from these patients, and we are collecting clinical and biochemical data at different intervals according to the GFR level. We are envisioning central biobanking in Heidelberg, and we are hoping for several sponsors also for this project. So all it takes is the ERKReg informed consent, and again, a special informed consent for the esCapeKD biosampling. And in the registry, in the subregistry, we are looking at comorbidities. We are documenting biochemical panel of CKD. relevant items. We are looking at the hospitalization history of the patients as well as the medication history, which is rather comprehensive here. And if you obtain a biosample, then we are asking to note that, document that, and to transfer the samples eventually to Heidelberg. So the enrollment target is quite ambitious, 1,000 patients, and together with the esCape network, we have about 45 centers, pediatric nephrology centers, that are active either in the register in ERKReg and or in esCape, and so we hope that we will find enough patients for that. The current enrollment status is shown here. So we have, in the last 6 months, included 70 patients, the first 70 patients. Again, still in many sites, the paperwork is still ongoing. We documented 140 visits in these 70 patients, and we had a fair distribution of CKD stages 2, 3, and 4. So we offer support for this rather challenging study to the participating sites. We are happy to train the local study coordinators in the study procedures. And again, we will provide case-based compensation per sampled and documented patient. And again, Joanna Sladowska is the investigator in charge, the coordinator in charge of this project on our site. Right, I think that was what I wanted to share with you. Are there any comments or questions?
There's one in the chat.
Yeah. So the question is, what happens if a patient starts dialysis or undergoes transplantation? That will be the end of the follow-up in this sub-registry. Of course, the patient will continue to be follow-up in ERKReg, in the core registry, but we will not have any more extensive data collection in dialysis and transplant patients. All right, so if there are no further questions, then we are thanking you very much for your attendance, and you can contact us at ERKReg at any time through our emails, and